the evidences, you would compute confidence towards those evidences, and then you will deliver a response along with the evidence. Now let's see how the same question will get answered in a search kind of a mechanism and a cognitive kind of a mechanism to understand the difference. Okay, so here is a search-based thing. So that was the question. Recall in May 1898, Portugal celebrated the 400th anniversary of this explorer's arrival in India. So let's say we have all the data that is available on the web. It's available to us, all kinds of things, everything. So in there exists one document, something that contains something like this. In May, Gary arrived in India after we celebrated his anniversary in Portugal. Now let's see how keyword-based search kind of will operate. So celebrated is found here, celebrated, right? Then arrived in May, right? Matches keyword-based. 400th anniversary, that is anniversary, so that matches. Portugal, that matches. Right? And then India, that matches. So there is a lot of significant, there is a significant keyword match with this. And hence it's a very probable answer. So what would be the answer here? In May 1898, Portugal celebrated the 400th anniversary of this explorer's arrival in India. Who's the explorer? Gary, right? Right. Now let's just look at it once again, what the cognitive system would do in here. Okay. Now, in cognitive system, search far and wide for all evidence. Even the previous answer does match something, right? Because there is keyword-based evidence at least. Then what it will also be able to do is temporal reasoning, time-based reasoning. So what does that mean? So in May 1898, there is that present, and then related to it is present 400th anniversary. So what can you say based on that? You can relate the two, right? You can relate the two. 400th anniversary is today, and that must be like that much back. It's that kind of stuff. So there is temporal. Then there is geospatial reasoning here. So this is the evidence, by the way. This is the evidence that we are working against, which says on the 27th of May 1498, Vasco da Gama landed in Kapad Beach, right? So geospatial reasoning allows us to also say, okay, India, an entity called India is there, and there is an entity called Kapad Beach, and Kapad Beach is in India. So it is able to geospatial reasoning relate the two, right? And then it's able to also, so Portugal is not present here, okay, fine. But based on the geospatial reasoning, and based on temporal reasoning, and based on things like, okay, statistical paraphrasing here, arrival in, okay, matching landed in and arrival in match in that perspective. So based on this, the computation of the answer here lands at the Vasco da Gama. So which probably is the right answer, right? So I guess you get a sense of, from the perspective of a typical search-based system to cognitive, the kind of expectations you start to have. You ought to be able to do this, you ought to be able to do geospatial reasoning. So in terms of your typical data analytics, what does that mean? That means given us any sentence, you should be able to, within the sentence, be able to spot entities, be able to categorize those entities, with whole hierarchy associated with them and things like that. So at the back, you would require all of that. So with that, I think let's move forward here. So since the time I gave Watson on Jeopardy, the human computers, IBM Watson has come a long way. At that point of time, and how has it come a long way in terms of primarily industrialization? That is, it's no longer just solving that one problem of Jeopardy, but it is now evolving into something that can be industrialized to solve any industry's problems. That is, you can build now solutions for cognitive solutions using the same technology for any kind of domain that you might think of. And towards the end of this, I'll try and demonstrate something that might be more meaningful for at least some of us here. So if let's say I have a French girlfriend and I want to propose to her, how would I do that using WhatsApp? I'll try and demonstrate that towards the end. Okay. So now what is Watson now? So Watson is a cloud-based open platform, okay, and it is expanding cognitive capabilities. And you can build now your own cognitive solutions using the applications, the services, and products that are available. So what I'm going to show is publicly available for all of us. Okay. So what is it now? Okay. So the one that competed with Jeopardy. So this is a landscape of various cognitive services which are now at the back of IBM Watson. There are 28 APIs. Let me just read out some of them aloud in case you're not able to see. So there is personality insight, there is language detection, there is concept expansion, there is visual recognition, there is text to speech, speech to text, there is retrieve and rank, concept insights, there is dialogue, you can hold a conversation, field detection, concept tagging, taxonomy, tone analysis in a given paragraph and so on, image tagging, text extraction. So all of these services are available now in IBM Watson platform. The one that competed with Jeopardy in 2011, it was using out of this set just what is called question and answer set, and that was using natural language processing. It was using machine learning, question analysis, feature engineering, and ontology. Those were the only ones that was used. It is now just one of the services that is available out of the set of 28 that are available today. And by the end of 2016, there is a whole lot more that is under the work right now. Okay. So I just wanted to give you a feel of what the cognitive platform right now is. And all of these 28 APIs that you see here, they are available to publicly consume on IBM's cloud platform, which is called Bluemix. Have you heard of IBM Bluemix? Okay. I will take you through that also, how it looks and how you interact with it. Okay, so these are various, various technologies that are underneath the APIs that are the services that I showed on the previous deck or previous slide. So I guess most of these will make sense to you because in big data analytics, there is a significant chunk that you can spot right here from the various works that you yourself might be doing. So at large, what it boils down to in terms of what are the distinct fields of study here, there is big data and analytics, of course. There is data mining, there is optimization, text analytics that is being used. There is artificial intelligence because there is machine learning, there is natural language processing, algorithms and theory. There is the cognitive experience, the human-computer interaction part of it. I will show you a more latest demonstration sort of thing built on Watson. Machine vision, visualization. Then in cognitive knowledge, knowledge representation, ontologies, semantic context, and things like that. So those are also in the beginning of the technology here. Then one of the other important things is the computing infrastructure, because to be able to do things at that kind of a scale, you also need a very good computing infrastructure. So high performance computing, cloud-based computing models, programming models, and tools. So all of these essentially are what now the IBM Watson platform offers. Okay. Now, 2011, there was the Jeopardy. You may have heard of it, but now, have you heard of something called Watson Chef? Okay. So, Watson Chef essentially is a chef. What does a chef do? Makes recipes, makes food, knows how to mix stuff, knows how to get some good recipe going, right? So there is an implementation of Watson Chef that's publicly available that you could try at https://ibmchefwatson.com. And here's how it looks. Okay, so I will show you also. So you could do various things. Okay? You could search for a kind of food that you are interested in. You can mix and match. You can say, okay, I'm interested right now in eating something to do with tomatoes. Suggest me something that goes along with tomatoes, and keep building on what would be the right kind of dish associated with it. So you could do all of that kind of stuff. And why don't we actually quickly look at it? So here I have live here Watson chair. So if you want to begin from scratch, for instance, you can put an ingredient here. Okay, I can say, okay, I want something to do with tomato. Okay. Then you can choose. Then now it's already in the suggesting mode. So given tomatoes, it knows what sort of other ingredients there are good recipes around. So you can choose that, or you could select something else altogether. Okay. Okay, now it's telling you what goes with that and so on. So typically you could even pick its suggestion also here. Okay. And it shows you this stuff here. Right here you could, let's say if I want to look at that, how do I make that? So I can look at that. So that's not a call I got from Watson. So you can look at that dish as well here. So you can start to make. If you're looking more, just in exploring, okay, I'm looking for maybe Italian stuff and so on, you could do all of that also. But essentially, it gives you a very, the human-computer interface and the light associated with cognitive that I was talking about. You can sort of see how it is going on that front. Okay. So let me get back to the slide. Yeah, so this is what I'll show you. Okay, so the other thing that I promised, maybe let me actually jump into that. So let's see. So what we want to do is, let's say I have a French girlfriend and I'm interested in making a proposal. Okay. So how do I go about doing that? So I probably have something in mind, but I don't know how the heck to say that same thing in French. So I require something to convert it. Then maybe I don't even know the tones in which to speak it and such, so I don't know how to pronounce the thing. So I would also want to hear how to actually say it in right kind of emotions and things like that. So actually, let's go ahead and do that. So here, what we'll do is that I was talking about that there is the IBM cloud platform called Bluemix. So we start by logging on to Bluemix. Simple, bluemix.net. You can register yourself, sign up. If you don't already have an account, you just need to create an IBM ID, and then you will have same kind of things that I'm doing. You will see essentially the same thing, right? So now, in that platform now, you have, I'm right now looking at a catalog, okay, of what is available to me, and I have filtered that catalog with Watson services. That's what I have done here, and I can start to see here several things. So in particular, I'm interested in two things. I'm interested in translating, and so there is language translation, and I'm also interested in text to speech, so that I can know exactly how to pronounce them. So for language translation, if I click on that link, I land up going in here. It allows me to, I go here, it allows me to create that service. That's all. The moment I create the service, it is available to me. Okay, you can also look at its related documents and things like that here to exactly how to use it. Documents on Bluemix always contain a try a demo as well. So I'm going to try a demo. So this is this is this is the trial demo of the language translation. So what did I do? I put whatever it is in my mind to make that. So I'm saying there are many ways to be happening in this life, but all I really need is you. Okay. Now I need to know what it is in French, right? So all I do is I just type that out in here, and Watson is telling me that that's what the thing is. This is what you could say. Now what I need to know, I now need to know how to pronounce it correctly and things like that, right? So for that, again from the catalog, there is the text to speech, right? So I go to text to speech, and text to speech is giving me this. So I can choose here how I, what kind of voice and things like that I want it to pronounce this. Make that selection, and then I type the same sentence out in here, and hopefully this will probably be right in here. You can probably speak. I think I should probably speak once again.
Il existe de nombreuses façons d'être satisfait, mais j'ai vraiment besoin de toi.
Okay, I guess hopefully that'll get the job done. Okay. So all I want to say is that the cognitive technology and the platform called Watson is available for all of us to use. All those services that I talked about, those 28 APIs that largely cover, for example, you might come up with a product idea that says, okay, I have here a lot of images which have a lot of text on them, maybe all diagrams in my books and so on. I want to just scan my books away, and then all diagrams in there I think contain the useful information, and I want from those diagrams, let's say, what is the text written on them. I want to just grab all of that and make search on, show me a diagram that contains some explanation of this concept. I want to search on the diagram. So if I have scanned all of them and they are available to me as images, I could use a Watson service by which I can just feed it. I can just upload this image and it will give me back the text. I could similarly, using that service, I could index it. How would I index it? There is retrieve and rank service. So for example, if you don't have enough infrastructure on which you would want to raise an indexer, something like Apache Solar, you can use retrieve and rank service. It comes back with Solar in the background. So you could all these scanned images, you could extract the text out, you could index it with retrieve and rank, and you can just start to ask questions to it, and it will give you, okay, look at that, right?
Is this service available as an API to be used for any other applications?
Yes, all of these are available as APIs. APIs only, actually. And the documentation, there is very detailed documentation which shows, for example, if you are a mean stack coder, that is, you code using Node.js and things like that, the APIs show you exactly what the code is that you would need to write for Node. There is a wrapper available, an NPM module, Watson Cloud Developers. You just say NPM install Watson Cloud Developer, you get it, and you fire away the same API. You copy paste the code, it works, right? If you are a Java stack developer, you can the API documentation shows you exactly what Java code to follow. If you prefer command line, your bash to the large, then you can curl it. So the API start your API based. Okay.
Your whole project, I think there was a big that it is possible, like say this particular project translation, because I developed it independently afterwards for my own application.
See, the service, that Watson service is hosted in Bluetooth. So the service you can use from anywhere. You can be calling that service from a local application that you are running on your machine, right? No problem. but the code of that service itself is not that code is not open source. Right, right. So that is about, so if, what you can do is, if you create an application, there is also in the cloud development environment. So it is called IBM DevOps service. So what you can, if you can create an application, host it with IBM Cloud itself, develop it using IBM DevOps, and then you can set up what is called continuous delivery. That means anytime you know, if you make a big push, it can auto reinstall your application and do all that.
Is translation different from Google Translation or?
Oh, well, yes, it's of course different from that. So you would see a lot of different implementations of it. So the implementation here is that one of the focus is, I could get into the show you the details also. There is a notion of something called language model. Okay. So for example, the service comes by default with a couple of language models that you could use. What that means is that there are specific domains in which you use a certain kind of vocabulary. So for example, the domain of patents or the domain of medical sciences, there is a certain way you say things. So when you are converting a text that is essentially formal, contractual, and that kind of stuff, if you use the language model for patents, for example, the translation is likely to be much better in comparison to a general purpose translation. Right? The language model allows you to build your own special, map of this to that, given that domain. So the language models, you can write your own, push your own language models, and there are some 3-4 that come by default.
So it's also asking volunteers to help for that translation project. So is IBM also doing that kind of?
Well, by putting up a cognitive platform that's open and that even giving the computing infrastructure and associated development infrastructure, etc., to general public, that is the intention here as well. Yes. Yeah. Which part? So you can use it. You can use it, right? For usage, it's a cloud-based model. There is certain usage that's largely free, and if let's say you can, the way you work with let's say the compute infrastructure in particular, the Bluemix part, is that let's say you are wanting to start up something, right? You don't want to invest a whole lot before you know that my idea has struck, and now I'm suddenly seeing a huge scale of incoming users. So if let's say you are building using Bluemix, and if let's say the number of incoming requests to your system initially is just well under 1,000 a day or so on, and your API calls that you're doing for the various services that you are leveraging, if all of that is small to begin with, you don't have to pay a dime, right? But if you see that it suddenly increases and it's working out really well, then you can switch the plan. You can say, now I want to go leverage that plan because I'm seeing a lot of incoming things. So I want to, on the fly, I want the compute platform to boost my memory and hard disk available and all of that, the compute infrastructure. So you can auto scale and do all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Can we download the API and use for our results?
See, okay. To the API, there are two parts. There is the client part, right, through which you are going to actually make a call to something. And then there is the actual compute part. The compute part resides in the cloud. Right? The APIs you can call, but the code that is backing the API, that sits in the cloud or these services. That is not open source. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so that was about all I wanted to share. Thanks.
you so much, sir. I request Sir Munish Chand Trivedi, Professor of CS Department, to kindly come and present the memento.
Heading on to the paper presentation. Our first presentation is given by Sonia Kumari from Pilani, presenting on parallel framework for efficient A-B clustering.
Please kindly remember that you have just 15 minutes for the presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sonia from this slide. I'm here to present balance paper and create ABES clustering. So this is the outline of the presentation. First, I'll go through the introduction and propose balance paper, then dimension reduction and component generation algorithm for balance paper and result analysis. ABES clustering algorithm is a popular partition-based clustering algorithm. It will partition the data, whole data, into K clusters. So the basic idea is to minimize the sum of the required error distances.